Autistic burnout just stops you in your tracks. But what happens when you're starting to recover from autistic burnout and you want to get back to some semblance of like day-to-day life? I'm finding it really difficult to find the balance of rest and trying to push myself, I guess. I think this is because rest is essentially something that I was never trained in. If anything, I taught myself how to push my boundaries so much that it felt normal to be unwell because of how much I pushed myself. And so since I've experienced autistic burnout, where I really physically just could not carry on, I gave up my job, I stopped socializing, I was basically inside, stuck in my house for a very long time. And that was like a forced rest, but it wasn't really rest because it was basically me just trying to survive and repair my body enough that I could go through a day and do the bare minimum. And that's the bare minimum with some kind of support because I couldn't work. At that stage, the bare minimum was try and get out of bed, try and have some food, try and maybe have a shower. Now I'm at the stage of recovery where I can do those things, not on a consistent basis, but I've figured out like how often I can do those things and how much I can prioritize doing the standard normal things in life. I find that my mental drive to continue to try and find work and start back up life and start pushing myself again has come back full force, when the reality is just because I can now shower every day if I need to does not mean that I can also go to work and work a full 8-hour day. It feels as though I just don't have a grey area. I don't have somewhere in between where I can accept that I can do certain things but I can't do other things. It's like either all or nothing. That is the rigid thinking that I try to overcome every single day because it's not helping. But I also think that it's partly because I pushed myself past my limits for so long that that's what my body is used to. That's how my body is used to operating. It doesn't know any other way unless it's pushed to the point of no return and it stops in its tracks. This is where I'm starting to think that rest for me is a real act of resistance, an act of resistance against the masking, against the way in which I pushed myself to physical and mental and emotional illness. And the reason why I like the word resistance is because resistance literally means opposing a force. The force in this case being the force within me that literally wants to push through every single time. It's a push and pull that I think is going to remain a constant in my life in some way. And therefore the practice of rest in amidst trying to figure out how to live a day-to-day life that involves doing things I want to do is going to be a constant thing I have to practice.